Hello, Renew You Challengers, and hello for the second time today. I am here with my friend Clarissa England, and we met. It's a funny story. We met in the store line at a Plexus convention. My sister and I were in line, and we were actually talking about the business opportunity, and we were really talking about, is that for us? Is that something we think that we want to do? But we knew we loved the products, and we knew that we were getting healthy, but we were really unsure. And all of a sudden, my sister met Clarissa's sister, who is also a registered nurse like my sister, and they started talking. And then as their story started, and she was like, I started because of my sister. And my sister said, I started because of my sister. And we became instant friends. It was as if it was such a blessing to meet with the two of you. And my sister and I reach out to Clarissa and Charity, her sister, all the time. They are leaders in our community, and we have the benefit of learning some of the tips of the trade and upcoming information. And I will leave it at that and introduce you to Clarissa. And Clarissa, if you could kind of just share what got you into Plexus and how did you become a leader?
Okay, well, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. I know that there's a host of other things that you could be doing with your time. And so I don't take lightly the fact that you are right here taking a few minutes to listen to what we have to say. So thank you for that. So yeah, Terry's right. We met in line at the store, literally at the store, and quickly learned that I was there with my sister and she was there with her sister. And interesting thing, I am from Rapid City, South Dakota. So it has been fun, the connections that have been made all across the country because of Plexus. Because Terry, you are in California. No,
Yes.
yes, you're
Yes.
in California.
Dick and I are in California. Yes.
Yeah, I live about 20 minutes from Mount Rushmore. So grew up with Mount Rushmore in my backyard.
We
And
got to
so
come
how I
visit.
got, what's that?
I said, we got to come visit sometime.
Oh, you do. The Black Hills is one of the most beautiful places. Um, we have the Black Hills in our backyard, and I can drive across the state, and we have prairie flatlands. I
Yeah,
love
and it
where I
was
live.
actually South Dakota. My sister's husband is from South Dakota, so I think it was the South Dakota conversation that actually started our conversation.
It's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy. So, just a little bit of background. Actually, 3 years ago, Thursday, was my Plexus anniversary. So Thursday, it had been 3 years since I decided to take this leap of faith. And it wasn't because I believed in supplementation at all. In fact, I thought supplementation was all a gimmick and a total waste of money. And I had a dear friend that had been reaching out to me for months. And sometimes I politely declined her, and sometimes I just completely ignored her. I wasn't always very nice, I'll be honest. And so, honestly, I let her finally come to my house because I just wanted her to stop talking to me about it. And so I said, fine, come over, tell me what you're doing. So she came over to my house, sat across from my kitchen table, and I had seen things that she was sharing. She knew that I was a tired mama who was very overweight, who never felt good, didn't have any energy. And she was just sharing her heart with me. And I just wasn't ready to hear it yet. And so I finally let her come over and she sat down and she was telling me all about it. And this may sound weird, especially if you have a different view than me, which is okay. But I tell people that it made zero sense for me to start and that it had to have been the Holy Spirit that caused me to say, do this, do this.
Right?
knew, he knew something had to give in my life because my health was quickly spiraling. My father is a type 2 diabetic, and I was concerned that I was heading in that direction too. I was not a very happy wife. I was not a very happy mom. Um, there just wasn't the joy in our house that there should be. And a lot of that had to do with me and how I reacted to situations and how I felt. When you literally feel like garbage from the inside out most of the time, it's
Yeah.
hard to, I had a hard time reacting positively to things.
So what was
So,
that moment? What was that moment that made you say, okay, maybe it's time for me to take a sample or something?
well, she had a sale and she had
Ah.
one left and she was going to meet with somebody after me. And I'm a super, super frugal person. And I said, I'm not letting that person have it. I'm doing it. I'll take it.
That's awesome.
I'll take it.
There you have it,
Um,
folks.
she shared all of the benefits with me, told me I had a 60-day money back guarantee. And I'll be
Mhm.
honest, I plan to use that 60-day money back guarantee. I kind of signed because she was my friend and I loved her and I saw how good she was doing, but I didn't believe it. And so
Mhm.
I thought, 60 days, I can get all my money back. Okay. Which really wouldn't have benefited her at all, right? If I was like, I'm just going to get all my money back, I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
But she talked to me about the importance of consistency. And so I said, okay, I am giving this a minimum of 60 days, maybe 90, because really our body works, I have since learned, in 90-day cycles.
Yeah.
So really, if you're going to start something new, you really want to give your body at least 90 days. The life of a red blood cell is 90 days.
Isn't
So
that
if it
amazing?
takes 90 days for the smallest cell in your body to regenerate, you think changes are going to happen here in less time than that? So that's how I got started. Um,
That's awesome.
Something had to give, and I really didn't think anything was going to change. My husband came home from work, and I will tell you, she sat across from me, and of course, she told me, Clarissa, I know you guys are struggling financially because we were struggling financially. We have our
Mhm.
youngest daughter is a special needs child, and when she was born, I walked away from my corporate job. And my husband had become self employed shortly before that. So I was the steady income earner. I had the paycheck that we knew was coming in. I carried the insurance. So when I walked away from that corporate job to stay home with her, to say that our financial situation changed is an understatement. But we knew that that was the best thing for her. There was no way we could take her to daycare and throw her right back into the hospital. She spent the first
Yeah.
142 days of her life in the hospital. I was not going to finally get her home and take her to daycare and have her end right back up in the hospital. So I walked away from my job. We just really felt that that is what God was calling us to do. We knew it was going to take sacrifice, and we struggled. We struggled financially big time. More often than not, there was more month than there was money. And
So true.
we,
It's so true for many people out there too. So I'm sure that your story is resonate, especially these days, right now during economic crisis with the pandemic and everything. That you never know what opportunities are out there. The accidental businesses that can be created.
yes,
Yeah. So
I
how
had
did you
worked,
move
I
into
had,
that?
well, I had worked odd jobs through the years,
Hmm.
but always just felt like God was calling me to be home. And so
Hmm.
finally told my husband, I said, look, this is what I'm supposed to do. I walked and I just stayed home. And so we struggled. Um, I did another direct sales company for several years, and was moderately successful, but I had to leave in the evenings and I was away from my family. And if I wasn't constantly going and doing these parties, there wasn't money coming in. There was no residual income. There
Yeah.
wasn't residual income. And so if I wasn't out pounding the pavement, I wasn't getting the money. Um, so back to how I got started. I told my sponsor I was not going to tell anybody what I was doing. I said, don't even go there. I'm not telling anybody. I
Right.
said, and she shared with me all of the benefits. Clarissa, I know this is paying for the products is a concern for you. Let me show you how you can even just pay for your own products. And I was like, no, just stop. I'm not going to tell anybody what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell anybody because I don't have my own story. How many of us think we can't share because we don't have our own testimony? I said,
I know that was me.
maybe if I see results, then I'll tell somebody. Then I'll
Mhm.
tell somebody. Well, she left my house. She had added me to one of our customer Facebook pages. And I started reading testimony after testimony after testimony of people's lives literally being changed by these products and the opportunity that it offered. And I still was like, well, So my husband came home from work that day and I told him what I had done, and he was angry at me. He was not happy. And he looked at me and he said, I thought she was coming to talk to you. How are we going to pay for this? And I blurted out to him, well, if I don't make enough money to cover what I'm using, I'll quit. Oh, shoot. Like, I just told my sponsor a couple hours ago, I'm not telling anybody.
Yeah.
That is how I started sharing. Bottom line, I had to
That
figure it out
is that is
because
so
I was
great.
committed to seeing if it would work. And so I had to figure
Yeah.
out how I was going to pay for it. So here's what I did. My dad, I was reading and learning just that. I mean, she left my house, you guys, and I started poring over these stories and testimonies, reading and reading and reading, and learned that the pink drink was developed by two endocrinologists for type
Mhm.
2 diabetics. My dad is a type 2 diabetic. Hello, why would I
Yeah.
not share that with my dad? Even if I don't know if it's going to work for sure or not, why would I not offer that to somebody that I love if it could help him
Yeah.
and not have to be on
So
such a
true.
high dose of metformin, which can make you feel like crap? Um, so I reached out to my dad. I reached out to my sisters, the people that I love the most that I knew could benefit from this. And I said, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. I have no idea if it's going to work. I really don't know what I'm doing myself, but this is what I'm reading about it. I think we should do it together and figure it out together as we go and see if it could help.
Isn't
Boom.
that how, yeah, isn't that how it usually goes, where we really don't, we begin something because we know we need to for whatever that brought us to this situation, and then we figure it out as we go. And that's one of the things that I love about Plexus is that, yes, we need to figure it out, but we don't have to do it alone. Just like uh, you and Charity, your sister, became that day, that very day in line. We agreed, let's be each other's accountability partner, and we check in every now and then or whatever, just like, how you doing? Go do it. That encouragement and support from across the country, really, with so many people that we accidentally meet, right?
Yep.
And then you have to wonder, was that really accidental?
No, I don't. I don't believe in coincidence. I truly, truly don't.
Right, right.
So it just kind of took off from there. I actually hit the first rank in Plexus 10 days after I joined
Is
and
that
made
right?
made
That
enough
is awesome.
to cover my products that month. So I was like, sweet. I got a bonus because I had ranked up. I had the regular commissions that they pay anyway. Guys, this compensation plan is like mind blowing, and made enough to cover my first month's worth of products. I was like, whoo, first month is covered.
That
Okay.
is so awesome. Let me stop you right there. You had mentioned about hitting the pavement and going from party to party and going out every night. And I just want to highlight that really is not the Plexus model. So anybody out there thinking that, it's the same type of direct selling process as every place else. And so maybe you could talk about that for just a minute.
Well, it's what we do and what I do is I just share. I just share. It's social marketing, network marketing. If you, okay, my husband and I go on weekly date nights. And if there's a new restaurant in town and we go to this new restaurant and it is just amazing, what do we do? What do we do as humans? We tell
Yeah.
people, oh my gosh, you guys, Roy and I went to such and such for date night tonight. You guys have got to go check this out. Does that restaurant pay me for that? No. Do they even know that I'm referring them? No. That's all this is. It is sharing something that we love, or in my case, that I didn't even know that I loved yet.
Yeah.
But I borrowed other people's testimonies until I had my own. That's what I did. I took these testimonies to my dad and I said, Dad, read these testimonies of people just like you
Mm-hmm.
that are lowering their A1C and they're losing weight and they're getting healthy because of these products. I borrowed other people's stories until I had one of my own. It's just sharing. It's just naturally sharing. I don't leave my house most of the time, especially now. But I have this little device here that I hold in my hand and I share on social media. I message people and I don't have to leave my couch. I don't have to get dressed. And I make money authentically, genuinely sharing with people something that I have found that offers hope, not just physical, but financial. Um, Shoot, I could go into so much. I am not the same person I was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, there's no way on this green earth that I would be doing a call like this because I would have been so intimidated and introverted and in my shell. I would have probably had an anxiety attack thinking about having to do something like this.
That's so true with so many people I meet, as well as myself. I had no intention of doing this business either. So, in the interest of time, we're going to have to end our conversation. We are so happy that you joined us. I so appreciate you being here. And isn't it amazing how the business opportunity really becomes almost by accident, because it's the passion that ignites within us that starts helping us grow and get to a place where we say, you know, I can't keep this to myself, or it's selfish to keep this to myself. I really need to share. Cause it's funny because you hear little bits and pieces and it's like, well, I'll just let them know. And really it's just that simple. You can share with people, you can let them know that there might be something that can help them better. And do they want a sample? And it's that easy. And it's changed so many lives. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Sisters unite. I know Charity and Victoria are out there. So next time we're having to be united again, the four of us. So have a great evening and thank you. And Clarissa, thank you again for your time and
You're
sharing your
welcome.
story and your testimony. Have a good night, everybody. The Gutsy Mentor signing out.